Alright, hi. So this is my first video on how to create the virtual Clawbot, at least the parts you need to create for my class. So let me show you basically how we get this going. I've got a new assembly file, alright, which I went to by opening Inventor 2018. That's what we have on our computers right now. Went to New and Assembly. Alright, so I've got this file, and now I need to bring my parts into the file. So I'm going to go to Place, and let's click this drop down. Let's see what happens when we do Place Component. Alright, so you should have already downloaded the file of the Imperial parts for Vex for the Clawbot, and save those to your Google Drive, to your robotics folder. Alright, so for me, might take me a bit to find it because it's been a little bit. Alright, here we go. Vex Unit 4, Imperial, 2013, etc., etc. I need some structure pieces. Alright, so to make it easier to see, let's do medium icons. And I want to start with the 20 hole bumper. Or maybe this one. Let me zoom this out a little bit. Try small or large icons. No, those are... I was hoping it'd show me the picture. This is what I want, bumper 20 hole. Alright. So click Open, and I can go ahead and just left-click to drop that, and then right-click and say OK, because I'm done placing parts. Alright, so now let's place the other parts we need for the basic structure, which are the 16-hole chassis rails. Alright, and I'm going to need 4 of those. So let's do Open. And before I drop this, let's orient it so that it's going to connect the way we want it to. So what I can do is right-click, and it gives me the choice of rotating around the X, the Y, or the Z axes. All right. So it's kind of hard for me to see. Oh, actually, no, I can look in the left corner, and I see a Y, Z, X axis kind of marker. So I know I definitely want to rotate it once around the Y axis. All right. So that's good. And then I actually need to flip this thing over, all right, because that bar part is supposed to be up towards the top. So that's going to be rotating it twice around what is now the Z-axis, it looks like. So let's try that. Once, good, and twice. All right. So I'm going to left-click to drop it there. I'll drop one more because we need pairs here. And then before I drop these on the other side, let's swing it around because they need to be facing the other ones. So again, we're going to rotate around the Y-axis, this time twice. Alright, got one. I'm going to left-click to drop it, another left-click to drop it, and then right-click, click OK because I'm done with those. Alright, so now I have these, and it's a matter of constraining them. So I do not have my mouse right now. I've got the trackpad. Let's see if I can rotate the way I like. Unfortunately, I cannot. Let's see here. What if I do this? No, that doesn't do it either. Well, that's going to make this particularly difficult. But if you have a Shift key and a mouse wheel, you would click that mouse wheel, and it allows you to get slightly different views. You can also do it with the free rotate. I just am used to doing it with the mouse wheel, so we'll see what I can do here. But I know I need to constrain these pieces to this bumper rail. Alright, so I'm going to right-click before I do anything else and ground this. Alright, grounded. That means now it cannot move even if I grab it and try to move it around. See, these other ones can. We need this to be grounded. That's something I'll be grading for. Alright, and once that's grounded, everything else, when it's fully constrained, it shouldn't move either because the constraints are proper. So let's start constraining one of these pieces to that bumper. So we do want the default, which is a mate constraint, and solution would be mate. And I want to put the top of this, so hover until I get that arrow. I want it to go to the underside of this thing. I don't have my Shift and mouse wheel right now, so it'll be a little tougher for me to get, but what I can do is click here, and I can see the underside there. Wish I could zoom in a little bit. Maybe if I try this. Let's see. Nope, that's the other way. There we go. All right, and that's the arrow I want. Left click. You heard the click noise. Click apply. Good. I got the first constraint I want. Now I need to do another mate constraint to get that front to connect to here and not actually go through the object. So it's on the same setting, mate, and I will click this arrow here. And I think it just did another constraint. Kind of confused here. Let's do. Let me undo that. Control Z. Apply. And let's see what I did here. All right. This might be a good learning opportunity. What have I done? I've actually already done 2 mate constraints somehow. So let's delete this second one. So I'm going to cancel out of this, come over here, and delete that constraint because that's going to mess things up. I'm not ready for another constraint yet. So yeah, you can see you can still move it, only 1 constraint. Let's try this again. Constrain, and this time, yep, mate, I want to constrain the front of this thing to the back of this. So I'll click this side. That's one thing that I want constrained. And let me spin around. So let me try this view. And I want this right here to constrain to it. So let me zoom in a little bit. All right. There we go. It's constrained, so click apply. All right, and now it's lost some degrees of freedom. You can see it'll only slide now along the face of this. So I'm almost done constraining this and almost done with this video because you'll be doing these tasks for the rest of these bars. But the final thing to get this fully constrained is to apply a flush constraint. So let's zoom in a little more. Trying to zoom in. There we go. I'm going to grab this, and basically I want the edge of that hole right there. It's hard to see, but I want that to be flush with the edge of this hole right here. So let's go constrain. It's on the mate. We want flush, and I want this right here, just had it, to be flush with that there. Click apply, and this is fully constrained. And you are done with that first piece. Let me swing around, go to the home view. See, it cannot move even when I try to grab it because this has been grounded and this is now fully constrained to it. It's exactly how we want it. Do that with these other few bars, but be careful to where they should go. You'll want to look at your own Clawbot or the manual, but it should be the next hole over for that lineup, and then same thing on the opposite side.